Good evening, fight fans. It is time for the Iman Report as we recap UFC Fight Night 183. It is Saturday, November the 14th. And let's get started. In the main event tonight, we had Rafael dos Anjos beat short notice replacement Paul Felder by split decision 50-45, 50-45. And Chris Lee was drinking Pepsi and scored it 48-47 for Felder. This is my WTF of the night. How did Felder win a round in this fight? It was RDA dominated all 5 rounds. There was no way in hell Paul Felder should have won a round. Even Paul Felder was surprised that he actually won, that he got a score that he actually won by one of the judges. Felder did not win. Felder was dominated for the most part by RDA. If you're going to be a judge in the UFC, you need to at least drink your Coke and pay attention to the fight. Hopefully he gets disciplined by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. But this was all RDA all the time. This was classic Rafael dos Anjos. He looked a lot better tonight at 155. Granted, it was against a short notice replacement in Paul Felder. But it showed that RDA has something left in the tank at 155 and snaps a 2-fight losing streak. Granted, he was struggling at welterweight before this. This was really a win that Paul Felder, that Rafael dos Anjos needed. Dos Anjos was really unsuccessful at 170. He lost to Michael Chiesa, Leon Edwards. He lost to a lot of big names. I shall say at 170. He's lost to Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman, Leon Edwards, and Michael Chiesa. But is he still a contender at 155? I doubt it. I think he might still be a top 5 fighter at 155. There's still plenty of fights for him, but I think he is what he is. No, he might be a top 10 gatekeeper at this point. And I think a good fight next for for Rafael dos Anjos might be Dan Hooker. I think this would be a classic. We would really see where Dan Hooker does with an experienced fighter who's a former champion. Is Dan Hooker a top 5 fighter? Is Rafael dos Anjos still relevant at 155? This is a fight I'd like to see. I think this would be a really good fight between Dan Hooker and Rafael dos Anjos. This would be a good 5-round main event sometime in 2021. As for Paul Felder, he came up short, but was actually pretty valiant in 5 days' notice. I don't think he'll take much of a step down in competition. But Felder is still a top 10 gatekeeper and still is serviceable at 155. As for maybe what could be next for Paul Felder, maybe Diego Ferreira could be a viable option down the road. Diego Ferreira would be good, or Beneil Dariush would be another fun option. Or Charles Oliveira. I think I'll go with Charles Oliveira. Felder versus Oliveira on a main card, on a main event, would be fireworks. And could be a good opportunity for Paul Felder to get back on track, or for Charles Oliveira to make a statement that he belongs in the top 5 at 155. We shall see what happens there. In the co-main event, what should be knockout of the night, Chaos Williams knocks out Abdul Razak Al Hassan in the first round with 30 seconds. It was hello and goodbye. Hello and good day and good night for Chaos Williams. Chaos Williams should get a jump in competition after this win. This was a statement win for Chaos Williams that he is a contender at the 170 division, and I think his next fight should be up against a more experienced fighter. I think he should be in line for the winner against the winner of Tim Means and Mike Perry would be a next logical opponent for Chaos Williams. It would be a good test to see how Chaos Williams can handle an experienced veteran fighter. As for Al Hassan, that is his second loss in a row, so he is going to have to take a step down in competition. Let's see where Tapology has him ranked. Abdul Al Hassan ranked 46. He's lost 2 in a row, so he is going to have to take a bit of a step down at 170. As for who could be next for him, could be maybe Laureano Staropoli, another fighter who's kind of fallen on hard times, who has 2 losses in a row. The winner of this fight would get one of these fighters back on track. In the event before that, Ashley Yoder beats Miranda Granger via unanimous decision, 30-26, 29-27. Ashley Yoder snaps a 2-fight losing streak. Yoder definitely not going to ever be likely not going to be ever going to be a big player at strawweight, but she is a serviceable gatekeeper. What could be next for Ashley Yoder? Maybe the Loom, but maybe this is one where a little lazy matchmaking might work out. Maybe Corey McKenna should be next for Ashley Yoder, and this is one where lazy matchmaking works out. I put Yoder against McKenna. They're ranked near each other. Yoder is a good gatekeeper. So I'll go Yoder versus McKenna in a little bit of some lazy matchmaking there. One of the few times where lazy matchmaking makes sense. As for Miranda Granger, she is 1-2 in the UFC. Her next fight could be a loser leaves town, as she could be in jeopardy next time she's up to fight. See where Granger is ranked. Granger ranked 29th. maybe Emily Whitmire could be a good opponent next for Miranda Granger. These two have lost two in a row. This could be a potential loser leaves town between Whitmire and Granger, as they are ranked near each other. I think I will go with that. In the fight before that, Sean Strickland knocks out Brendan Allen in the second round. Sean Strickland is looked much better since returning from the motorcycle accident and is a much better fighter at 185. And I think he has not lost a fight at 185, if I'm not mistaken. He was 2-0, yeah. Yeah, he's not, believe it or not, he has not lost at 185, and this win should get him near the rankings, and I do think Sean Strickland should get a ranked opponent next at 185. Some ideas could be the winner of Shoeface and Tavares. Here we go. I think that one that could make a lot of sense could be the winner of Kelvin Gastelum and Ian Heinisch. I think that's what should be next for Sean Strickland. Strickland has earned the right to fight a top 15 fighter. The winner of Heinisch and Heinisch and Gastelum is what should be next for Sean Strickland. Find out if Sean Strickland is a top 15 fighter at 185. As for Brendan Allen, that is his first career loss in the UFC. Maybe he bit off more than he could chew in that fight. But I don't think Brendan Allen is going to fall down too much in the rankings. I think it's more about we're finding out Sean Strickland is actually at his right weight class at 185. And this is where Strickland's home should be from here on out. Brendan Allen has still, I think a good next fight for Brendan Allen is another fighter who just came off a bad loss is Edmund Shaboyzian. Edmund Shaboyzian, another fighter that's just coming off a loss to Derek Brunson. Shaboyzian could be a fighter. This would be a good opportunity to see which fighter can get back on track at the 185 division. So I'll go with Allen versus Edmund Shaboyzian. And Corey McKenna beats Kay Hansen via unanimous decision. Very entertaining fight. To open up the main card, as said earlier, McKenna should fight Ashley Yoder next. As for Kay Hansen, what should be next for her? Kay Hansen, still a bright prospect. At women's strawweight. This fight could have really gone either way. I was a little surprised that this fight went to Granger and not. This fight went to McKenna and not Hansen. But Hansen should be rewarded in a losing effort. I think the loser, or the winner of Mallory Martin and Pollyanna Viana, would make a lot of sense for Kay Hansen. Now on to the prelim card as Kanako Murata beats Randa Marcos via unanimous decision. See where Murata is ranked. or Murata, excuse me. Murata ranked 21 in the rankings. I think Amanda Lemos would be the next viable option for Kanako Murata. As for Randa Marcos, she's dropped 4 of her last 5 fights. She could definitely be fighting for her job in her next fight. What could save her from being cut is the fact that she came in short notice, so she could get one more fight in the UFC. And I think for her next fight should be against Brianna Van Buren. Fight before that, Tony Gravely beats Geraldo de Freitas via split decision. One judge had it 29-28 for de Freitas, the other had it 29-28, 30-27 for Tony Gravely. For Tony Gravely, excuse me. What is next for Tony Gravely? Gravely ranked 54 according to Tapology. I think what should be next for Gravely is a fight against Davy Grant. I'll go with that. Grant ranked 52. What's next for De Freitas? Maybe the loser of... Maybe Cole Smith is what's next for De Freitas. Well, wrong De Freitas. Okay, Spartan is... Okay, he's 1 and 2 in the UFC for it, so he'll likely get a fighter next that could be in danger of being cut his next time around. Fight before that, Alex Morano beats Rice McKee. All 3 judges had it 30-27. What is next for Alex Morano? I suppose you can give Morano the winner of Carlos Condit and Matt Brown. That's what I'll go with there. And as for what is next for Rise McKee, McKee 0-2 in the UFC. I think it's adios for Rice McKee. 0-2 is usually going to get you cut. But if he's not cut, he will likely face a debutante his next time up. And the first fight of the night, Dontel Mays beats Martinez 30-27. One judge had it 29-28. Dontel Mays gets his first win as a UFC fighter and avoids potentially getting cut. What is next for Mays? Maybe the winner of Tafa and Felipe is what should be next for Dontel Mays. I'll go with that. And what should be next for Rock Martinez? Rock Martinez 0-2, not 0-2 in the UFC. Rock Martinez could be in jeopardy. Martinez is one that also could be cut afterwards. And they've posted up the performance bonuses for tonight. Fight of the night goes to Dos Anjos and Felder, get $50,000 for fight of the night. Chaos Williams gets 50 G's for knockout of the night. So does Sean Strickland get 50 G's for knockout of the night. Next week is UFC 255, Figueiredo versus Perez, and Valentina Shevchenko versus Jennifer Maia. And some other interesting undercards. We've got Tim Means against Mike Perry. Mike Perry always entertaining. You've got Chikagian against Calvillo, getting a little bit of spotlight. Mauricio Shogun Hua against Paul Craig. Brandon Moreno against Brandon Royval, the headliner, the featured fight on the undercard on ESPN2. That fight could determine the next title challenger for Deiveson Figueiredo. And I'll be back tomorrow to recap NFL Week 10. Everybody have a good Saturday night. Stay home, stay safe.